Yeah, just credit to Temple. Solid team. They do a good job. Class act. Play rugged, hard-nosed football, and it was good. Began on a short week, and we're moving forward with that plan. Very excited about it, and the team's got to rest this week, which is great. They need a break. It's been a grueling beginning of the season physically and emotionally. So, be a good week of rest. Questions?
Questions for Coach Diaco, please star one on your telephone keypad to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll first go to John Altavilla from Hartford Courant.
Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Hi, John.
Hey. I was wondering if you just could elaborate a little bit about the schedule for this week. You said the players are going to be off. How long of a break are you giving them?
Well, we're on the 5 days, not counting Saturday, but just as you think of like a regular work week, Monday through Friday. We're only going to practice. We'll practice 2 times, and we'll meet and strength and condition then the other days.
Last week we were talking a little bit about the late break, how this bye week came after week 10, with a lot of the season's come and gone. When you think back to the schedule, what would have been a good time for this to come for the team, Bob? If you had the advantage of specifically picking after what week you think maybe the team needed the break?
Oh gosh, I don't. Around that, middle week 5, probably week 5 or 6, in there. Tough beginning, couple of losses, some bad play at a few spots that we could have tapped the brakes on and taken time to get shored up. But I mean, it is what it is. It every year's a little different. Sometimes you get a bye in week 2 and that's too early, and then you get one in week 10 or 11 and that's too late, So but if it wasn't really for the record and how these games have gone, I think we'd be fine. It's as much been emotional drain as it is a physical drain.
What are your reasonable expectations, considering your circumstances for the last 2 games, Bob? What do you want to see transpire besides obviously winning some football?
Try hard, keep fighting, keep straining, play hard for 4 quarters, show up with energy and zeal and excitement, and play with class and character and integrity.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Matt Chambisky from This Is UConn Country has our next question.
Morning, Coach. How are you?
Hi, Matt.
One thing that stood out in talking with Donovan Williams after the game is his maturity. Did he handle the first start as you would have expected from an approach and execution standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very impressed with how he handled himself in the game. That was after the game, and now I had a chance to study it. He's a cool customer, and he's a leader, and he's got a very good way about him. He's very strong, very strong mentally, very strong emotionally. Guy, he's a winner, and he's not going to get rattled, and he's not going to lose confidence, and he's not going to lose faith. If we thought any of those things might happen, we would have never moved forward. So this is all for him and his development. It's all win-win.
And then you talked after the game about Bryce McAllister having a pretty good game at safety on Friday. After looking at the film, what stood out to you about his performance and how his development helped the defense moving forward?
Yeah, no, I thought he did a good job. He was assignment correct. I thought he's, threw his body around a bit and did a nice job. He was on body in his coverage. He was assignment correct. And what's important is that he plays in the games. So for the future, he's got to play. Anthony Watkins has to play. Marche Terry's got to play. We've got to get a lot of participation, as many reps as we can get on these developing secondary players as we possibly can.
All right, thank you.
And we'll now go to Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Okay, Dan, how are you?
Good. Thanks for asking. To take a look at this bye week and this opportunity to spend some more time with the team outside of working on fundamentals and the typical work that goes into this, what is some of the things, maybe the message that you want to speak with the team on or with your coaching staff on at this point? What's the focus for you at this point?
Yeah, right now the focus is just eliminating some of the mistakes and uncharacteristic mistakes that have shown and reared their ugly head amidst this losing season. So the losing creates other problems that shouldn't and wouldn't otherwise be there. So we got to continue to eliminate that. That would be like a mental errors, guys trying to do too much at the beginning of the game, in particular on defense. And then they settle in and start to do what they're supposed to do and do only their job. And by golly, the defense looks way better. So it's that understanding to settle them down and calm them down and calm their nerves and get them locked back into fundamentally sound play. That's a bit just practice and coaching and whatnot. But the thing of it is the guys know what they're supposed to do. And they've repped it all, so you're not getting shocked. The preparation, in some instances is there, and most, and we've got to get the mindset back. So the offensive players can believe and settle in and try hard and not get into their frontal lobe, so to speak, while the competition's happening. That's not positive. You need to just kind of read and react during the games rather than try to think and go big picture. So we got to get the minds back and work towards that. And I think a big focus is just how exciting the final 2 weeks could be here and finishing the right way.
How do you get the minds back when, like you just brought up, you can mentally play your way out of a game no matter how much you prepare or how ready you are physically and whatnot, or how well you know the playbook, that mentally, if you're not there, then you're not there. How do you get that back?
Yeah, again, that question has no answer, and we just work towards it. Let them know how much we care. Try to do the best job we can with our presentations each day to reach and communicate. Rep and work the stuff to reinforce just habitual, movement and read key reaction. To continue to stay positive and communicate with respect and also discipline and also consistency, and stay the course as it relates to how we do our business. We do our business the right way. I know why we're in the circumstance we're in. I know why. I see the problems and the reasons and understand the answers as to why we're in the circumstance we're in. Getting it fixed here in the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, all of it, it's just not realistic. So, but we're working towards it, and we took a big step in that direction last week. At the beginning of last week, we took a major step towards it, and it's going to pay major dividends. So we just keep doing the best job we can, solving the problems as they arise each day.